As a kid, I spent my summers with my grandparents. On one particular trip, I was about 10 years old. My grandfather was driving, and my grandmother had the passenger seat. She smoked throughout these trips, and I hated the smell. I'd been hearing an ad campaign about smoking. Basically, the ad said, every puff of a cigarette takes some number of minutes off of your life. I think it might have been 2 minutes per puff. I decided to do the math for my grandmother. When I was satisfied that I'd come up with a reasonable number, I poked my head into the front of the car, tapped my grandmother on the shoulder, and proudly proclaimed, "At 2 minutes per puff, you've taken 9 years off of your life." I expected to be applauded for my cleverness and my arithmetic skills. Instead, my grandmother burst into tears. I sat in the back seat, didn't know what to do. My grandfather, who'd been driving in silence, pulled over onto the shoulder of the highway. My grandfather looked at me, and after a bit of silence, he gently and calmly said, "Jeff, one day you'll understand that it's harder to be kind than clever. Cleverness is a gift. Kindness is a choice. Gifts are easy. They're given after all. Choices can be hard. You can seduce yourself with your gifts if you're not careful, and if you do, it'll probably be to the detriment of your choices. How will you use these gifts? And will you take pride in your gifts or pride in your choices?" I got the idea to start Amazon 16 years ago. I was working at a financial firm in New York City. I went to my boss and told him I was going to start a company selling books on the internet. He took me on a long walk in Central Park, listened carefully to me, and finally said, "That sounds like a really good idea, but it would be an even better idea for someone who didn't already have a good job." And he convinced me to think about it for 48 hours before making a final decision. It really was a difficult choice, but ultimately, I decided I had to give it a shot. I didn't think I'd regret trying and failing, and I suspected I would always be haunted by a decision to not try at all. After much consideration, I took the less safe path to follow my passion, and I'm proud of that choice. When you are 80 years old, and in a quiet moment of reflection, narrating for only yourself the most personal version of your life story, the telling that will be most compact and meaningful will be the series of choices you have made. In the end, we are our choices. Build yourself a great story. Thank you and good luck.